All right, recording. Hello to anyone who is watching this. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a fantabulous community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online, mostly the indie persuasion. You can check out everything the Gauntlet does at gauntlet-rpg.com. There'll be a link down below in the YouTube description of this video. What will you find there? Well, all sorts of things related to indie tabletop role-playing games. You know, you've got your blogs, your forums. There's the zine that the Gauntlet puts out called Codex, which usually contains supplements to existing games and original games in itself. There is the podcasting network that Gauntlet has, which includes shows like the Gauntlet podcast, where members of the community talk about what they've been playing and cool projects they've got lined up, and Plus One Forward, which is a podcast powered by the apocalypse. All sorts of stuff. Fear the Black Dragon, which looks at dungeon modules, adventure modules, cool stuff there to see. There's also like other ventures the Gauntlet does, like the Gauntlet Open Gaming, which we've done 2 weekends so far, and the big one in October. That's not the official name; it's just the big one in October. That sounds like a crap pay-per-view name. The big one in October, coming soon. But definitely check it out. There'll be info about all that. And there is, of course, the Hangouts calendar, which this game and hundreds of others, I say hundreds, 100 plus. Don't want to oversell it too much, but 100 plus different kinds of games being put up there. This is where you get to hang out and play with us. Who is us here in this equation? So I'd like to ask folks to introduce just themselves for the moment. We'll get to characters in a moment, but yourself, your pronouns. And if there's anything you want to plug, anything you want to shout out, whether you're involved with it or not, is perfectly fine. I guess I should do that first since I've been talking a lot. Hi, my name's Leandro. You see him pronouns. I don't have anything to plug, so I will just plug something that a friend of mine wrote, designed, and released just last week. It's a should have prepared for this. Should have had the tab. Oh no, this is terrible. It's a game for a witch jam that just concluded. It's called Hedge Witch Tales. It's a game about kindness, about two players. It's one of them's playing a witch, the other one's playing a wanderer. They just hang out. They have coffee. They have cute stories. It's about having an open heart, an open door, and unusual cures for ordinary and peculiar ailments. It's really cute. Check that out. Let's go left to right in the character keeper. Mario, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, my name is Mario. I use he, him as pronouns. And I want to encourage you to come play with us, especially if you feel other tabletop role-playing spaces aren't made for you. You will find a neat space to play with really awesome people.
Disregard the motion I just did there. Up next, Sabine, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I don't have anything to plug at the moment, but I really enjoyed Leandro's attempt to do a Jedi mind trick on you, so you will come and join us.
You will come and join us. Of course, we get into the question of whether that translates, through communications, or you need to be okay. And actually, Jim saved me with your introduction before we get into the weeds of this.
Hey, I'm Jim Crocker. Folks that know me from outside the Gauntlet may know me because at one point or another you bought a game from me. I used to sell games at conventions all up and down the East Coast and in the near Midwest. I had a company called Jim Likes Games. It is no more because there are no more conventions. So mostly I'm just playing a whole lot online, writing about games, stuff like that. I've done a little bit of game writing. I've got published in a Gauntlet Codex zine. I wrote a incursion for Trophy Dark called The Flocculent Cathedral, which a whole lot of people have said a lot of very nice things about that I really appreciate. So more stuff coming out. I've written a Brindlewood Bay scenario called Decorative Gore Season that will be coming out in a future issue of Codex and stuff like that. So participated in the Trophy Loom book. I've wrote a big kind of Dark Sun style desert setting for that. So a little bit of game writing here and there. I am also brand newly minted Open Gaming Coordinator for the Gauntlet. So I am very much hoping that you will join us at our Open Gaming Weekend. The one we've got coming up this year is in the place where normally previously we used to have an annual Gauntlet Con that we did once a year. We invited a whole lot of people. This is probably going to be a little more modest than some of our previous Gauntlet Cons, but we're trying to make it part of the kind of a regular continuity of regular quarterly events like this, that we invite new players to come join us, play in the Gauntlet, stuff like that. There'll be a whole lot of information up there. That is your opportunity to come and play, probably with all four of us, I would imagine, at, variously at one point or another. Certainly I'll be proposing a game or two to run in between while I'm helping coordinate things and stuff like that. So do please come join us there. I use he, him pronouns, but they, them more generically is totally fine with me too. That's great. And I am very much looking forward to our game here this afternoon. The fact that we are getting to play test an exciting new game by one of my favorite game designers is super, super cool.
Hell yeah. That game in question, thanks very much, Jim, is called Apocalypse Keys, but a game of, sad monsters trying to hold back the darkness and the apocalypse. It's a Sword Queen game by Jamila R. Najadi. You might remember them from such games as Balik Bayan, The Dying World, Once More Into the Void. They've been incredibly prolific in the past year, and it's just some great stuff. And this is kind of like their big multi-campaign, multi-session, Jesus Christ, their first big multi-session game. It's a power-based apocalypse game, as mentioned, taking your cues from works like Hellboy, the films and comics. It is about solving mysteries, finding the balance between the great power within these characters, these monsters, and the emotional entanglements within. Will they reach out to the light and reach out to each other, or will they succumb to the darkness within them into their own dooms? So that's great fun. Who are these characters who are on the brink of succumbing to their dooms? Let's wrap back around to Mario. Why don't you tell us about our summoned?
Yeah, so our summoned goes by the name Cameron Sweet Tooth, and if you would come across him, you would know why he got that name. It's a crocodile person from another dimension that isn't really delighted by human food, except it got a whole lot of sugar in it. And apparently sometimes Cameron likes to eat horses.
We'll see, because if I remember correctly, we described them as big fuck off demonic horses. We'll see how you get along. Up next, Sabine, why don't you introduce us to our pure?
Yeah, I'm playing Shard. Uses any pronouns. Kind of depends a little on what they are at the moment. Sometimes they present female, sometimes they present male. They have the powers of body and flesh manipulation, and usually that shows the reason why they're called Shard is because their body is not entirely cohesive. It tends to shatter and reform, and sometimes when they are not that much in control, the world around them does the same thing. So yeah, also they are a lot heavier than they usually look, and that's just sometimes that's weird. But right now they have spread their wings and are carrying a humongous crocogator to throw them at some horses, which is
To be
fun.
clear, crocogator man. If it's just a crocogator, it's just a mix between a crocodile and an alligator.
Crocogator man. I apologize deeply.
God, what would that even look like? We're not going to get into this. Last but not the least, Jim, why don't you introduce us to our found?
Yes, I am the Found, which if you read the BPRD comic would be, it's Abe Sapien. It's like a unique being who is, discovered somewhere, and, their origins are mysterious and stuff like this. And they are decidedly not like other humans. I created a character called Anther, and she is a plant being. She is, entirely made of vegetation and fiber, and she survives through photosynthesis and water, and doesn't, eat real human food or necessarily experience the passage of time the way, regular flesh and blood creatures do, or even understand emotions and consciousness the same way that they do. But she has become part of the team. She was discovered on the dark side of the moon in the 1982 off-books unofficial moon landing that Leandro just seems really tickled that I introduced into the game. But of course, there's an unofficial off-books moon landing in this universe that that we are participating in here. So, and she has the ability to, she can like basically do plant type stuff. There's an ability in this game that you can take for the found called Creature Affinity, which kind of means that you're, you take on aspects of some animal or something like that. Like if I were Abe Sapien, I could swim and survive pressure and breathe water and stuff like this. So she has aspects of being a plant, right? And all that implies. And I have telepathy and mind blasts, which we have I've kind of coded as, she can send spores out and stuff like that. And through that, she can, or like the flora that are just kind of naturally present in your body, the microflora, she can, like draw out how you're feeling and maybe even read your thoughts. And the mind blast is kind of like she can, whatever, just overwhelm your senses or something like this with a, with a powerful blast of, like a particular smell or pheromones or something like that, and that can, knock you on your ass. So I think when last we left her, she had just gone off on her own to explore, because I have taken a move that, gives me some benefits when I just wander off into danger on my own, and, sort of make rain for, so that everybody else has to go chasing me. And I think we're in a ghost carriage now, last I recall. That was what was good.
Yeah, it's no big deal. You're in a ghost carriage. You're from the moon. Like, how can a ghost carriage compare?
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not from the moon. And that's where they found my, desiccated, hibernating seed pod.
Oh, that's true. Yes, you were at the moon. It was just a stop off. Wherever you came from. It's just you were just at the moon.
The moon was like, my basket in the.
Oh, bother. Oh, bother. Okay, I hope this is still recording, but my internet has frozen.
We can see and hear you right now.
Oh, cool. My internet just all the video for yourself.
You froze for a second, but then you came back. So
okay, cool. I'm back. All right. Hell yeah. I'll just watch the recording what I missed. But before we do kind of like get started, I do want to talk about the safety tools that we're using for this series, just to get everyone back, just so everyone's on the same page. Let's start off in the safety/dice tab, where we have our lines, veils, and ask first items. For those who don't know, lines are things that like won't be crossed, just won't show up in the fiction at all. Veils are things that can like happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate on it. Like, it happens off screen, or, it gets a sentence or two, or we'll just kind of like skate over it. And there's stuff that are like ask first, which are like still okay to put in the fiction, but before we do so, we're gonna make sure the table knows. So like we know that like this is coming up. If folks don't mind, have a look through that list, see if there's stuff that's added, stuff you want to add, or stuff that's changed. This is a living document. We'll kind of like go back to it at the start of every session. And if there's anything you want to add in the middle of a session, feel free to do so. But yeah, have a look through that. And if it's all good for yourselves at the moment, just say okay in the chat. Okay. The other safety tools we're using is script change, which is like basically like a series of like commands that help us like modulate and control the fiction as best we can. I should post this document in the safety tab. I'll do that in the break. Basically, imagine like commands in like a remote control, which I just happen to have one here. Didn't plan that. So there's 3 commands specifically that I want to highlight. First up is rewind. When you call for a rewind, you can like back up to a specific point in the scene and do the scene over again, avoiding whatever issue led to the rewind and trying a different way. And it could be any issue. It could be like a name, the general tone of the scene, or even just like the scene itself in total. You don't have to explain what your issue with is. I might ask some questions on what we're trying to like avoid, but if a rewind's called, we'll all respect that, and we will do the rewind and try out a different tack. There's also fast forward, which when you call for it, you kind of like fade to black and advance time as needed to avoid content or elements of play. And this is kind of like part of what we talked about with Veils, where basically if there's like something happening or like, we don't need to concentrate on it, we can just fast forward, or even we can just call for a fast forward to just move forward a bit in time, oh, we have to stop this thing at the stroke of midnight. It's more dramatically fun to just go to near midnight, which is fast forward. But if there's like a moment where like we don't need to like linger on it, we can just call for a fast forward. And the last command is pause, which you can call for a variety of reasons, specifically if you need to take a break. And there's many reasons why you would need to take a break. Maybe it's an intense scene and we kind of like need to like slow down and figure out what to do. Or if you need to take a bio break, or if you're just seeking, some clarity or discussion about the game or content, like, if something passed over you, we can call for a pause and try to like situate ourselves. And this is kind of part of the open door policy that we have here in the Gauntlet, where basically if you do need to step away, where there's an emergency or there's like an emergency to take care of, or you're more tired than you thought and like need to like step away from the table, or like you want to call for a bio break, you really need to go, which I might, since I just finished all my coffee, stuff could happen. We'll call for a pause. We'll try to accommodate yourselves. If I do call for a break, I usually try to say like when we're back, like at this time of the hour, this many minutes pass. But if for whatever reason I'm like not there, I would say probably good 5 minutes after I said I would be, just like take that as like I'll try to message yourselves, but don't feel pressure to like linger after like 5 minutes if I'm not back. I'll try to get an email to yourselves, but I'd say 5 minutes is the cutoff point. If I'm not back, assume that I've been like delayed or something's up, but I will try to get a message in. Cool. Okay, so I think let's rewind to where did we leave off? Well, we should start off with where we're at and why we're there. So our group of monsters, our division agents, have been called and sent rather like quickly and haphazardly to the city of Dublin. It's an early morning. There are reports that Dublin is seeing like a rise in basically infestation of specters, of ghosts that have started flooding the streets. There have been incidents of malicious behavior of people being attacked, and our group was sent over to specifically check on a specific incident. You were not given the luxury treatment. It was kind of a crappy van. Ran by some young adult who sounded like she spent the last night in some dive bar screaming. And yeah, there were some complaints about the amenities. I remember this. And yeah, she took you to the Crow's Foot Theater, which I'll put that in the notes. The notes are going to be in the keys tab. I should make sure to put that there. That's where the keys are, like, what y'all need to like complete this mystery. You got to the Crow's Foot. Some investigation was had, and yeah, you got your first key, which is this demonic carriage, the Coshta-Bower, a carriage of passage from living to death, found trundling amidst Dublin streets. And Anther was caught up in the queue and decided to come along. One of our other agents, Hope, tried to come along as well. Well, the thing is, going inside a carriage, a demon carriage leading from life to death, weird stuff happens. And Hope already has like a tendency to warp in and out of timelines. So we'll stash her away for the moment. So Anther willingly decided to get into the carriage. Meanwhile, Shard and Cameron were like, nuh-uh. So Shard grew wings, picked up Cameron and dropped Cameron, about to land onto this carriage. So before we deal with that, let's deal. Oh, go ahead, Sabine. Sorry, I'm mute there. Sorry.
I just wanted to say that this was something that Shard believed that what was his name? Cameron wanted. So that's why they did it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I think the bit you don't know is that like Anther willingly decided to go to go into the carriage. Okay, let's cut to Anther. I want to know, when you enter the Coshta-Bower, how is it bigger than you expected in the inside? Like, how are its dimensions kind of just so obviously wrong to you?
Oh, sorry, you're asking me.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Oh, I think that is very much a thing where from the outside, like, it looks like a regular carriage, right? Like I'm thinking like a Cinderella style carriage almost, something like that. And so like there's a little door that like a ghostly footman holds open for you, and you step on a little step and you have to like duck your head to get in. But then when you get inside, it's got like an 8-foot ceiling. Like once you're inside it, it's very clearly like, much taller than it looks like, because you like literally, like I said, you have to kind of duck to get into this 3-foot high door. But then once you're inside, you can like stretch your arms up fully over your head.
Yeah, and I think inside it's full of, well, obviously it's full of people, but they kind of have the same. Actually, no, they don't have the same glitchy VHS effect that you had with the other ghosts. It's like a variety. There's not one true ghost. There are some that are like fairly solid. There's some that are like that, purplish blue see-through vibe. They're all kind of like packed in as if like they're just off to a commute. But I think when you walk in, all eyes are like suddenly on you, because like, oh, who's that? Who's this? Like, are they a ghost? She's a plant. What's up with that? No, what's it? The other thing I should note is like these people, they all look kind of normal. It's like a cross section of normal Dublin life, modern, I would say. I should specify. Look like they've been alive, the past year or so. And I think like they're like, the atmosphere is just kind of like, are you meant to be here?
So I have a question. Is this my first encounter with a bunch of ghosts like this?
Ooh, that's up to you, I would say. It's your history. I'm
looking at that first encounter's mood.
Yes.
Is specifically what I'm doing.
Well, you can absolutely say this is kind of like your first time encountering.
Yeah. So when you first interact with a named PC faction or monster, and I think, so the ghost of this carriage is the first time that I'm interacting with them. So I would like to actually make a roll to see what's going on with how, how that rattles out. So
Oh, yeah.
I've got 1 darkness, which I'm going to go ahead and spend.
Mhm.
And I've just got my dice here that I like to roll in front of me. My kind of spectral ectoplasm colored dice. These actually glow in the dark. So, oh, that's not great. That is I rolled a 4 plus 1 gets me to a 5. So on a 7 or less, they have something on me. What terrible secret do they know about me?
Yeah. What do the passengers of the Coshta-Bower know specifically about you?
What do they know specifically about me? That on previous missions, I have like I have I think like mobsters and stuff like this, like like bad dudes who are like shooting at us and trying to kill us and stuff like that. I have like very explicitly, carefully killed them while telepathically probing them to try and see if I could figure out where their consciousness went when they died. And the 3 or 4 times that I've done this, it's my investigations haven't really borne any fruit.
Yeah. So I think there's a frisson in the crowd, and you hear someone just shout, she's not human. She's an intruder. We remember when you poked through and tried to poke through our lands into this side. You're not meant to be here. You can't see who's yelling, but I think it's almost like a chorus of people all shouting as one. Oh, okay. So we'll step away for a moment from Anther as she's in a tough situation. Let's cut to Cameron and Shard. So, if I remember correctly, Shard, you made that roll already, right? You rolled an 8 to throw Cameron. No internet. Frozen up again.
Did I? No. When did I? I don't.
Oh, internet, what are you doing? Hello? Hello?
Hi. You're
Hey!
back.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, thank God. Yeah, so sorry about that. My internet decided to die for a moment. But yeah, so I think I said someone made a roll.
Yeah, you said I made a roll of an 8. And I don't remember that. I rolled a lot, so it's possible. And Jim went away to answer one of Shannon's questions, and we'll be back. We should start playing, is what he said.
What did he say? Sorry, I missed that.
He said we should just start playing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Yeah, because like I see the nice thing with this roll dice with friends, you can see the previous rolls, which is very handy. Yeah, so I think I remember Shard, you threw Cameron already, right? I remember this. So I think for the moment, yeah, we ended. Oh, come on, internet. Okay, sorry, my internet's freezing a bit. We ended with Shard throwing Cameron. Cameron about to land on this carriage. Oh, gosh, internet.
Yeah, well, initially, I wanted to land on one of the horse's backs.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
because
if you want to.
yeah, I think because I said something just like that those horses look delicious or something.
mhm.
And that was when Short stepped up and just gave me a ride and dropped me onto one of the horses.
Yes, these are some big ones. They're big horses. They're the kind of horse I think I described them as the kind of horse that Judge Frollo would ride in the animated version of Hunchback to Notre Dame. Disney's Hunchback to Notre Dame. They're like snorting and just fulminating. And you're a big guy. You're a big crocodile man, but they're almost like you've landed on them. They're not like trying to throw you off off their backs, but like they're just marching along.
Yeah.
And they're starting to pick up speed. What do you do?
I think this is just one of those scenes where I've been remembered like way back when I was back home on my planet, and I just ate whatever crossed my way. Like we weren't that picky back home, and now I'm just like I just lick my lips, and I'm just about to just bite the horses, and then I remember, oh no, I'm not supposed to do that. And it takes me quite an effort to hold back, and I know, no, you're not supposed to eat animals on Earth. You're not supposed to eat the animals on Earth. And then I remember, oh yeah, right, I'm not even here to eat, I'm here to save Anther. um, and so I just turn around and climb onto the carriage, and try to see if I can find a window or just open the door or something and hop in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing you notice, like, there's no driver. This carriage is just attached to these horses. And you're trying to figure out how to get in there. I think this is hmm. So you climb over the carriage, and I think Anther, you can feel tiny, like the carriage moving, even though it's this big, almost 8 foot tall, ceiling. But obviously, to Cameron, it's just a carriage. It's a old, rickety, fancy-looking carriage. It doesn't look like there's like a way in. Even like the windows are kind of like tinted, and there's like bars all over them. You're gonna have to do it. I don't think there's like an easy way to get in. Even like the doors look like they've already kind of been. There's a bar across the doors.
Okay, so crocodile slash alligator people have really powerful tails. I'm just trying to smash it open and make a door myself.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like you're unleashing well, no, actually, not unleashing dark, because this is a carriage. This is being the monster.
Be the monster. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Reminder, folks, like make sure at least pay attention to when you're gaining the prompts for gaining darkness, because that is kind of primarily the main way you'll be getting your darkness tokens. For the moment, I don't think you have any. So I think, yeah, that'll just be a straight roll.
That is, yeah.
Oh,
that is bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Is there anything that says? Okay. On a 7 minus, the darkness within you will take what it demands. The keeper of the doors will say what happens next. Okay. So I think you whack your tail against the wall, and against like one of the carriage walls, and improbably the tip kind of like breaks through, and Anther, you can see way above this. The perspective is so weird. This kind of gigantic crocodile tail, pierce through, and the entire carriage shakes. I think, Shard, you're winged, right? You're above, looking down at the carriage, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you see this coming, but you don't see what Cameron doesn't. I think, let's see. Darkness within you take what it demands. What does the darkness demand of you, Cameron?
Maybe that because one of my main issues with being in this world is that I promise to never ever use my teeth to hurt somebody or animals. And as I just like introduced a bit earlier, is those horses look quite delicious, and I'm really tempted again, and I again lose track because I just wanna eat them. But I want to check in with everybody because we have veiled harm to animals. They are devil's horses, so I assumed it would be okay.
Yeah, just as I mean,
Within
like
reason.
as long as there's not loving description of exactly what you're doing to them, I think that's probably fine.
Okay, cool.
They're probably not. They're like something else in the shape of horses. So
Yeah. Yeah, so I think you smash the tail, and like it seems like you're gonna get caught up in this. And I think here's kind of like what happens next. I think your tail moves to like smash it again, and suddenly like a hand stops it. You didn't see where they manifested, but suddenly the driver has kind of like appeared out of nowhere and has grabbed you by the tail. And when you look, you see they've got this like long black coat. They've got gloves. They've got like this bandolier, this like tattered, slacks or whatnot. They look like they came from a rather gritty, HBO series set in the Edwardian times. They've got a very high collar, and they don't have a head, for one thing. Instead, they've got like just like where a hole where the head would meant to be, and this like really heavy breathing as they kind of like pull at your tail and move you, and they with effortless ease. And Shard, you can see this, swing the tail up and swing you down, smashing you against the carriage. Cameron, take a condition for me there. How are you feeling?
That makes me furious. Like, just lifting me up by my tail. Oh wow. I'm gonna rip that guy to pieces. That is the most uncomfortable and the rudest thing I endured in years, maybe.
Hell yeah. So Mark raging. that sounds like what you're feeling. Shard, you see this from up top, this headless figure, just kind of like manifesting out of nowhere. They're kind of like skirting around this carriage, Van Helsing style, and by Van Helsing I mean 04 Hugh Jackman Van Helsing style.
I wonder if while Cameron was investigating the horses and playing around with the carriage, if I could have, while I was flying over the whole situation, if I could maybe grasp at one of the keys, at a key while I was doing that, because I mean, it seems like I have the high ground here and I might see stuff.
Yeah, so when you search for a clue, investigate the signs of the apocalypse, or use your powers of darkness to gather information, which sounds like what you're doing. Describe how you're doing this, which you just did, and roll plus darkness. Let's see how you
I will spend one darkness token for this. I have 2, so I'll spend half, so it's fine. It's probably going to go really well.
Yeah, you all did roll really well last time.
Look what I rolled. I've rolled a 9, so it's a 10. It
Oh yeah,
went really well.
Yeah, it went really well. On an 8 to 10, you uncover a key of the apocalypse. The keeper of doors will tell you what it is. Okay.
Damn, I should have spent 2. Sorry.
Oh, you want things to go bad. Sometimes you just want things to go bad. The thing is that after a roll, you can't spend a bond to move a result up or down. Maybe I don't know if you want to do that.
No, I don't want to. That's not what that's for. Don't need to have the cost. I mean, it would have been nice, but
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me just there. That's the Coshta-Bower or the Coach-Bowers. It's in the keys tab. Yeah. So I think you're just looking through this. You're like trying to like see where is this tell me again. Like you're just trying to see like who's driving this carriage, what's happening around here.
I think I'm looking for symbols or stuff like patterns, I guess.
Yeah.
Like if there's anything that would give me a hint to whose carriage that is.
Yeah. I think from afar you can if you get float just a bit higher, you can kind of see it like the carriage superimposed like in Dublin streets. And you can kind of see that like it's picking up passengers. That's why it was there at like the crow's foot, and you can see ahead where it's picking up its next load of passengers. It's right next to the river, to the River Liffey that goes through Dublin. And you can kind of see now that you know that, or to like how to spot these like pickup spots, you can kind of see like, and I will say there's probably like flashbacks, like your briefing and whatnot. You can kind of see that like it kind of like corresponds to where the attacks are happening. This carriage is going to like these places and either picking up spirits or spirits are disembarking from it. So I'll add that to the keys tab. There is a pattern, a schedule, so to speak, much like a bus schedule, where the Coach-Bowers or the Coshta-Bower is driving around the city, taking in and disembarking ghosts.
Okay.
So
Nice,
so it's a bit more predictable.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I then will fly down and attempt to aid Cameron.
Okay.
Any kind of capacity.
All right. Let's cut away for yourselves for a moment and come back to Anther. There was this big slam against the carriage ceiling. Something. Woo, all right, but the ghosts aren't. They're still paying attention to you.
And so I kind of look at the like the ghosts that were all like, she doesn't belong here. And I, kind of raise a wooden tendril with, these kind of spiky fingers that look like, the ends of tree branches, right? And I kind of point at them and I say, the difference between us is that I merely wanted to look. You have breached the veil. You are not merely looking where your gaze is not welcome. You have imposed yourself where your presence is not welcome. And you cannot hide your heart from me. And I will, use that kind of whatever, the fact that they have consciousness means that there's energy there that I can tap into. And I will, when I am sensitive to the surface thoughts and strongest feelings of those around me. And when I deepen my senses, I can roll plus darkness to try and get a read off of people. So I've got 3 darkness in the pool. I took some darkness because I can choose to gain 2 to 4 tokens of darkness when I feel frustrated or scared. And I'm kind of both right now with these beings that are just being, that are being like at the same time that they're being petulant and demanding, they're being obscure. They're not telling me what they want or why they're here, even though they're like, we deserve to be here. Well, why? What is the problem? So I'm going to spend 2 of my tokens there to roll it +2 and see where we end up.
Good luck.
I've got an 8 + 2 gets me to 10, which is right where I want to be.
Jesus. Yeah,
On
y'all are.
On an 8 to 10, I sense more under the surface, and I can ask 2 questions. What are they hiding? What are you hiding is one of the questions that I'm asking.
Ooh,
and this is very much like I send these things out, and and the whatever, the like I said, the microflora and whatever energy that I'm picking up just kind of comes back to me and sort of ripples through me, and then I just sort of understand.
Yeah, I love that this microflora still works on ghost minds, because here's what you get. I think you get like a montage of shots of several of these ghosts, and you can see like their faces, and suddenly you see them in like these weird muted like surroundings. They're kind of it's just a house or a living room, but kind of like weird and sepia, and they're looking towards like from your perspective, and you can hear from your perspective a voice speaking, but you can't make out what they're saying, and the ghost being like, I would a different ghost saying like, of course I would like to visit. Can you really do that? Can you? And you piece together that like what they're hiding is that like well, they got an invite from.
Yeah, they didn't do this on their own. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
yeah, they got yeah. Someone, yeah, there's like someone who is letting them through the veil, so to speak.
And how can I make them trust me?
I think you're gonna need to quote another PBTA move. You need to pierce their veil. You need to like kind of like they're kind of like if you can feel there's like a lot of tension and fear of where they are now. Like their spot is quite precarious. Like like they only really exist in this carriage, and maybe stepping in and out of where the carriage like lets them be. If you can like give them assurances that like that they won't just like they didn't just make some bad deal, they won't be like sucked back in. If you can like, you can get them to like believe in you, so to speak. Not to say create an army of mindless puppets. That's what the darkness wants. But for them to like trust you, like you need to like provide them like a much more compelling direction. Like they're a bit rudderless. All they've got is this carriage. Can you do that though?
Yeah, I say to them, I will say to them, I understand. You are worried that when you disembark, you will have no place to go. My consciousness is vast and can contain multitudes. I will take you in, and we can walk out of this place together. And I'm basically offering to let them into like occupy, sort of like possess me in tandem with my own consciousness.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Is this reaching for the light, or
the thing is like reaching for light is like more personal.
Oh yeah, that's like a support thing.
Yeah. This is more be the monster, I'd say. When you're doing something.
I think I'm being the monster. Yeah. This is only my monstrous nature can accomplish. Sure. So I've got 1 darkness token left. So so I'm going to go ahead and spend it and roll it +1. See where we end up. That's a 9 + 1 is a 10.
Oh man, on an 8 to 10, you the monster act as one and you do it. So what does this look like?
I think that this looks like this is definitely like I kind of reach my arms out and like like green stalks and stuff sort of shoot out of my fingertips and sort of kind of just like plunge into the ghost forms. And then they just sort of like, it's sort of like they're getting drawn in, and they and like there's like a whatever, like smoke or something kind of travels along the tendrils. And oh, and you know how in that picture my head has like a bunch of like mushrooms coming out of it, right? In that picture that I had, I think like as that happens, they kind of go up, and each of those mushrooms kind of like sort of deforms subtly until it has the face of the ghost that is occupying my consciousness now. And so now all those mushrooms around my head are all have little faces on them of the people that I'm sharing my body with.
Oh yeah, I think the last person to like come in is like that businesswoman who kind of like pushed you along, and she's kind of like, she looks a bit apprehensive, but she kind of says, "Well, I knew you weren't human. You certainly didn't look like one. I didn't think you'd be able. You can do that."
Even I do not know the full extent of my abilities. I'm still learning. Do you wish to linger, or and I look up to where like there's that whole of the you know carriage.
This carriage has been quite a dreary affair, if you don't mind me saying. Perhaps being with you would be preferable. I think she gives you kind of like this like brittle sort of, I'm not expecting much kind of like smile.
Mm-hmm. And I hold out a hand and draw her in.
Oh yeah. Cool. Jesus Christ, I didn't expect this. Well, who am I to expect anything? Okay. I think we've been here for like about an hour or so. Let's have a fairly sizable 10-minute break, and then we'll see how the fight against the headless horseman, the Dullahan, is gonna go for Shard and Cameron. So see you all in 10 minutes. Okay, so while Anther inside the Coshta-Bower has been making a lot of friends, just making so many friends all at once. I can't believe history is repeating himself. The last time I saw a Found do this, they were tempted to go further than they. All right, that's a story for another day. So let's go back to Cameron and Shard. I think Shard, as you're landing down to like help Cameron, you're standing back up, and you do tower over this headless figure.
I'm planning to do something totally different than just landing there, but let Cameron go first. I'll tell you after.
Okay. As you're like preparing to do this this maneuver, Cameron, you get back up. You're in this carriage that is still driving through Dublin streets in a fairly nice pace, not completely languid. And this like figure who is like 6 foot or so. You're still way bigger than it. But it did manage to pick you up and slam you on top of this carriage, and there's no sound coming from it because there's no mouth. It's just like kind of like standing there, and you can't tell obviously what it's thinking or what it wants to do. There's no face to read. But Cameron, what do you want to do?
I so wanna just throw that bastard off the Coshta-Bower, because that clearly was an insult. Just lifting me by my tail. Oh damn! I do take such things really personal.
Hell yeah! So you're gonna engage in fisticuffs, so to speak.
I'm getting angry because sometimes I get angry.
Okay. Would you count this as overreacting with violence? It's not really overreaction considering they slammed you against the carriage, is it?
I mean, right now I'm not. I mean, I've got a bigger picture. I'm not specifically trying to just kill that single guy. He's just part of the problem we have to solve. So this is just, well, he did grab me by my tail, which is, yeah, I need to get more violent than I would have liked to. So
Okay. So, you do have that starting proof when you unleash the dark through anger and violence. You can choose to take 3 darkness tokens before doing so. Yeah. So to knock him off the Coshta-Bower, that is an unleashing the dark. You are trying to impose. You're trying to enforce your will on someone physically.
And I think I've got the +2 from raging already, but this is something I just want to get it out of my way real quick. So maybe I use a bit too much force, so I'm additionally spending 1 darkness token. So I'm at +3. That could possibly go a bit wrong.
We'll see.
So I just we said he had this this fancy coat.
Yeah, very high collar.
And I'm not really considering, even though he's really strong, I still think I'm outpowering him because of my colossal strength I've got. And I'm just like, in one movement, I just already lean into, like, if I would throw a baseball or something, and while doing so, I just grab his coat and try to throw him as far off the carriage as I possibly could.
Yeah, let's see this roll.
It's a 12.
Oh gosh. Okay. So on on 11+, your darkness shows and you go too far. How does your darkness kind of like show? What does that look like? How do we see you're kind of giving into what the darkness wants?
I mean, in the last I've been here since 1553. So in the last couple hundred years, I learned to hide certain features that are specially scaring towards humans. And while I'm doing this, and I just want to get rid of that guy, and I'm not really thinking too much about the movement, and I'm flexing a little bit, and then like my whole, like, I'm wearing the coat, but my face is getting greener than it should, and it's showing more teeth than it should, and you see this reptilian pupils, which is normally not such a present feature. And then I'm also like flexing my arms, and my claws get way bigger, way longer, and I'm like just looking way less human than I'm usually do.
You're all made of leather and feet and teeth and claws. So you're gonna choose one from above because it's a mixed success, so a success. And you can also choose one from below in Unleash the Dark. Cool. So what are you choosing? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm. Can I say I get what I want from them and want them to be gone?
Let's see. I think that means a more physical thing. The way kind of like these harbingers, these like bad guys work is kind of like in masks. They've got conditions you need to like inflict on them.
So I can't defeat that guy by just throwing him off.
No, if this was a one condition Lackey, maybe, but this guy's not a one condition lackey.
Okay, then I just bought myself some time.
Okay. Oh wait, which one of those is that? Confuse them for
Gain the
something.
upper hand for now.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah, I think. What's you're choosing from down below?
I think that is an ill omen that reveals itself. I'm just because the other ones, yeah, gain 3 darkness. I think the omen is the most interesting one.
Okay. So mark one doom. Just always fun. So I think here is kind of like what happens, and you can tell me what kind of like omen you think Cameron would see. You throw the Dulahan to like the street, and it, for a moment it's like, oh hell yeah, I'm the crocodile man. You're just, yeah, you may be a headless figure wreathed in shadow, but you're still just a headless man. If you were a headless crocodile man, maybe. And they kind of like they kind of like tumble to the ground, but you can already see they're orienting themselves to like be standing back up once they're done tumbling. And there's a moment where like you're kind of speed, the carriage is still going. The horses are still kind of going to like where it's meant to be. And then the Dulahan just kind of like is like already standing up. It's kind of like, it tumbles and it's already back up. And then it starts running towards the carriage. And as it's running, it's exuding these it's like wisps of smoke around it, and the smoke starts to like coalesce into a horse, and suddenly the Dulahan is on a horse and is riding down the carriage towards y'all. And as you're seeing this sight, yeah, let me see, what does the darkness demand of you? To yearn for a love that can never be mine. That's tricky to to weave into this. I guess in the way.
I have an idea though.
Oh, go ahead.
And I described how I was grabbing his coat while throwing him, and we can see that the coat is a little off right now, and his chest is exposed, and we can see like within the flesh, there are faces, and I recognize one of the faces as somebody we lost a while back on our job, and that it was somebody I deeply cared about.
Oh, that's horrifying. Hell yeah. Shard, you still want to do your cool move?
Yeah, I want to do a thing because the carriage is still moving, as you said, right?
Yes.
So I'm expanding, and I will envelop the carriage. I'm expanding. It mostly looks like my wings are expanding, and I become one with the wings. And then all those wings, they will envelop the carriage within itself. And so there is a wall of feathers surrounding that carriage, so it cannot move through the streets. And then the eyes on the wings will open. These are butterfly wings. At that point, the eyes will open, and there's a voice, and that says, "You are within me now. Please do not fight." And what I'm doing here is I have this move on the knife's edge, and I think that pretty much is what I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm spending my last point of darkness for that because I want this carriage to stop now. Because it's not a good carriage. No, I have to use 2 dice. And I have to roll them. Hey, I rolled a 7. It's an 8. I spent the last point of darkness for the 8. I mean, I can't. Damn.
Jesus, yeah. On an 8 to 10, there is a moment of serenity. You are one with your power. So you just hold 3, and it all works out well. Oh, well. Okay, so you've got these hold, and you can spend 1 hold to do any of the following. You will lose all hold at the end of the scene. But yeah, what do you want to do? Which one of these do you think translates to what you want to do with like grabbing this carriage?
I think I it's mostly I can shield others from terrible danger by channeling the darkness. But my humanity slips. Mark doom unless you spend another hold.
So are you spending 1 or 2 hold?
I'm spending 1 hold.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're not really that human at the moment.
No, I don't even look any kind of human.
Yeah, I think.
I think,
Oh,
but
go ahead. Go ahead.
I have 2 more holds, so I think I can maybe unleash the dark to just enforce my will on these, and I will spend the last one to not mark a condition.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you? So you're trying to unleash the dark on the carriage or on the Dulahan who is like writing you down?
I think the man is a distraction. I will unleash my will on the carriage itself.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. The carriage is its own thing. So you will, so you get 8 to 10 on unleash the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be some. Oh no, you already spent your last hold, so there won't be any collateral damage. Cool. So you wield the darkness with precision. Choose 2.
Oh, I have to choose again. I can also, and this is fun because I have a move. Yes, I have to say that. I have my darkness is never leashed. So it's they are entranced with you now. That's what I can do.
Yes.
They will tell you more than they know. I think they are entranced with you for now. I like that, so that the carriage just maybe stops and waits to see what will happen. And I think I want to avoid reprisals, harm, or cost.
Okay.
No, I'm just thinking. Sorry.
No worries.
I think gain the upper hand seems like what I want to do. I want to gain the upper hand. This is me in a position of power over this carriage thing, and it won't move for now. We'll see what maybe it will react now. I probably will.
Yeah, I think they are quite entranced. I think as you kind of like envelop this carriage in your form, and Anther, you can feel this as well. You can feel that like whoever was controlling this carriage, whether through the Dilahan or not, you can feel their control slipping as a more familiar presence starts to fill the carriage. Cameron, Shard is surrounding you at the carriage. And I think the way you kind of gain the upper hand is like you're kind of gonna gain it against its former driver, because Shard, you are the driver now. Because unlike the Dulahan, the Coshta-Bower is just a 1 condition, so kind of lackey. And I think because you're kind of unleash the dark and they're like entranced by you, suddenly this carriage of death is like, oh, I could have other drivers. And I think you just feel it's not a voice, but it's like a feeling reaches out to you, Shard, and it just kind of asks you, where do you want to go?
I want to understand our purpose.
My purpose is to carry passengers. My purpose is to carry people from one place to another. I think like it's a carriage, so it's kind of like just being very prosaic about this.
Yes, that's fair. Well, then I will coalesce a little. The wings will start to unfold and coalesce into the form of a person, maybe a woman sitting on the whatever the driver's seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of the coach, and the rest of these butterflies, they will just gather around the coach and cover the coach, so it looks like a coach covered in butterflies with eyes on them. But the eyes will close one by one after a while.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like, I think we're gonna say like the action is kind of like I'm gonna come to a close here. I think as you kind of like
Mhm.
trundle off with now the coach under control with these butterflies around it, suddenly you can notice that like the early morning is turning into morning. Sun is like coming up in Dublin, as foggy as it is, and the Dullahan is nowhere to be seen as you have control now of this carriage of the dead. And yeah, I think I think there's a moment for like for things to like calm down, if that's okay with folks. I think Anther, you can definitely feel that like Shard's presence is around. And we'll say not like fast forward. I think you'll see. I think Cameron will see this because you're outside the carriage. You'll see like a familiar beat up van driving around trying to catch up to you, and Aoife poking her head out of the van window, just saying, "Y'all want some breakfast?"
Yeah. How much?
We should speak to your mother.
Yeah, I should have breakfast by now. Follow me. And she'll just kind of like,
Can I go away from the carriage and still keep the control I had? Can I move from there? Or can I just maybe leave some part of me behind?
Yeah, I think just like because I like the idea of you having control of this carriage for now. We'll say yes, we can leave a part of it.
I'll just split in two. Leave the female version behind and go with the others in the male version of this still butterfly covered person. But that butterfly person looks, not the one on the coach, but the other one starts to look more human as he comes down to you and says, well, breakfast sounds actually quite lovely. Maybe tea.
Yeah, my mom does a good spread, and I think we will cut from there, and we'll just cut you to where the McCarthys live, which once again you'd expect fancy division headquarters. No, it's just an apartment. It's
No, I'm pretty sure by now we do not expect fancy division headquarters.
Okay, all right. It's not an apartment. It's like it's just a house.
This is not a spoiler here.
No. I mean, Drimna's a nice. Okay, no, it's not. No, shout outs to Drimna.
It's like a nice little flat or something like that. Yeah. Probably, a little second floor walk up or something like that.
Yeah. Inexplicably, there's like two kitchens. There's also one on the second floor. It's really neat. And I think when you kind of drive up there, it's a pokey kind of like spaced kind of flat. And Aoife will kind of like just like lead the three of you, and you can already smell like different kinds of food kind of like prepared, and camera, and you're gonna have to squeeze in, and Aoife's just kind of like, "Mom, division agents here." And you just hear like a clatter of like pans, and it's like, well, they took their feckin' time coming over here. Breakfast is, well, we'll figure out what y'all eat. Come here. And when you kind of like squeeze into the kitchen, there's like there's like a table full of like, you'll notice like it's not an Irish breakfast like what folks would expect. It looks like it's prepared for people of the division, different kinds of like what could be food, that sort of thing, prepared for anyone who might have different dietary needs. Not eggs and whiskey, that's ridiculous. Who does that? And yeah, you meet Aoife's mom. She's kind of like of the same height as Aoife. She's got like soft, kind of like red hair that's almost kind of like blondish, tied up in like a bun. And you notice immediately that she looks way too close to Aoife's age. Like,
What's her name?
her name is Nicole McCarthy. Which y'all would know because she was meant to be your contact. I'll find a picture for her once my internet is done being weird. And the main thing you know is like she cannot be more than 5 years older than Aoife. She does not look sick, for one thing as well. She just looks kind of like irritated, and she says, "All right, we see we got all sorts coming into the house today. Aoife, for God's sake, go get some sleep. You look like hammered shit. Go get some rest." And Aoife's like, yeah, I know. She looks like she's teetering. She looks like she really should go get some sleep. And she'll go into like a downstairs bedroom. And Nicole will kind of give you all a look and say,
Nicole McCarthy, why did you have your daughter prevaricate to us as to the condition of your health?
I see you. You're one for the fancy words.
I speak in the language that I was taught.
Well, much like you lot, languages come in all sorts.
Would you be more comfortable if I adopted local colloquialisms?
Well, I see you're already trying your best. And she kind of points at your jewelry, which, to remind folks, is in keeping with local flavor. Look, we'll talk business once the three of you, although I've heard that there was meant to be four of you. Well, once the three of you've got some grub in, just something in your bellies. We'll talk business then. All right?
And I just eat 3 donuts at once. And with a full mouth, I just say, yeah, no worries. We already dealt with your hellish Uber problem you have here.
I do not believe that is totally dealt with. I have control of it now, but I do not know what caused it. Such a nuisance to release the spirits of the dead into the world again. I mean, this is recent. This is not the usual spooks that run around in Dublin, if I'm correct.
So the thing is still a threat to us?
Did you take care of its driver?
I don't. I'm its driver now.
Mm.
I apologize.
And the passengers share their consciousness with this physical form.
Mm-hmm. Did you take care of its former driver? Did you take care of who allowed the carriage to start doing this in the first place?
Well, usually we get such information from the ones that hire us. So maybe you could share your investigation results.
I always believe food comes before business, and I'd rather not mix the two. And I've prepared, I hope, a lovely feast for everyone involved. So why don't you all tuck in and get some energy, get some rest, and then we'll talk business.
What sort of questions would you recommend I ask the ghosts?
Well, the kind that would move us along. But word of advice, dearie, you are dealing with the dead, with the people who've passed on. They need a delicate touch. Don't be brutish. Is what I'd say.
Maybe, was that what I did with the coach?
Sorry, say that again. with that profile.
Was that what I did with the coach? Should I have been more gentle?
Well, it's a carriage. You know, it's about as gentle as what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
It's sentient.
it's just more of those dads wandering the earth. Usually, you just like find their bones, bury them somewhere else, and everybody's happy and stuff. So why isn't that working this time? Like, did you check on all the graveyards? Have there been vandalism involved? Has any, I don't know, like church or other sacred place been robbed? I mean, we need to have a lead that is earthly. Like, there needs to be some sort of portal or place of origin for this whole thing happening.
Is that Cameron grasping keys?
Could be,
Sounds like
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is searching for clue, investigate the signs of the apocalypse, use your powers of darkness to gather info. I'd also note, like, whenever you meet an NPC, you're always free to roll a first encounter to see if, like, you've known them in the past.
True.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Ooh, I would like to do that.
All right, let's do grasping keys first.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I have 2 darkness points to spend. I will spend them and then go roll. So it's a 9.
Nice.
Jeez, y'all are rolling like monarchy. Yeah, so on an 8 to 10, you uncover a key of the apocalypse. The keeper of the doors will tell you what it is. And I think Nicole will kind of like sigh and just say like, you lot are really up for business, are you? And she'll kind of like sit down and kind of like, start telling like what she knows. And I think there's an undercurrent of neglect. You can sense that like the division office or like whatever division presence here in Dublin has been under neglect because she's explaining her investigation and just hers as if she's the only one here of the division. But I think the key that you get is that so you already know, like, there's a pattern, and the Coshta-Bower is kind of like going around this, barking all these passengers. I think what she kind of like helps you like put together is like where these attacks are kind of like happening, and the commonality between them. So there's the Crow's Foot, there's the bar Kelly's, there is this really nice clubhouse. There's a community center. And here's the thing that like she managed to piece together that's like not supernatural like based, because she hasn't figured out like who or what is like doing this and how they're doing this, but she's figured out the commonality, which is like all these places are like, old, nearly century old, like kind of like buildings. They're all like buildings that are like have been here for quite some time, and they're all up for like foreclosure, and they're all kind of like on the chopping block, so to speak. And she tells you about how there's this trend happening in Dublin of like these old places getting bought up and turned into hotels. And there's like worries that these like more cultural places are.
Sure. So is the worry explicitly that they're going to be demolished, like knocked down, or just renovated?
Demolished and then demolished and replaced.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the commonality of like where all these attacks are happening. They'll be replaced by something a bit more faceless, a bit less colorful. And the reason why she hasn't found out anything about portals or anything is because you get the weird sense that like, is she the only division agent here? What happened to the resources here? And you get the sense like she does look quite. If she's not sick, she's at least looking quite tired, almost as tired as her daughter. At least that's the commonalities that I found. How's your breakfast?
Most delicious, and I'm already eating the next 5 donuts at once.
You can have the donuts. I would like to roll for the first encounter, please.
Hell yeah! When you first interact with a named NPC, faction, or monster, ooh, you could have rolled that with the Dulahan. That's interesting. Oh yeah, roll plus darkness.
I think I won't spend my 1 token here. I'll just roll. Still an 8. I can't. I'm sorry. I think it's you, Leandro. I never roll this well when I'm at another person's game.
Yeah. See, if we were playing a more regular PBTA game, it would just be mixed success up the wazoo. Oh no, my luck will probably change. I'll just keep rolling like 10s or 12s. But yeah, no, on an 8 to 10, looking at the wrong move. On an 8 to 10, you've dealt with them or others like them. The keeper of the doors will give you information that is interesting or useful. Say how they owe you or how they feel about you. Okay, so I think you, Shard, you've definitely been in a mission before with Nicole McCarthy. She is like a division agent, and she is like one of those like quote unquote problem cases in the division, in that they're incredibly talented and incredibly useful, but you know they don't really play by the rules. They're a bit of a maverick. And it's almost like she was sent here back to Dublin from where she came from, and it's kind of like just to like leave her there. I think the last mission she was in was probably with you, and she didn't botch it, but it was way messier than it should have been. Is there a detail you want to add?
I think the way she owes me is that I took all the blame. I mean, it basically was a bit my fault because she told me to do a thing, but I tend to do what I'm told, and then she knew that, and that was not such a great idea. But I took the blame for that mostly. But I think our superiors maybe knew that I'm very easily influenced by other people. So.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll probably we'll see if we'll flesh out that mission before. I think, yeah, she didn't initially recognize you for sure. And it's up to you because you wrote it 8 to 10 if she does recognize you or not, while you're in her kitchen. For a moment, she's kind of like seeing the three of you as just the division. Even though like you get the sense that like she's not a monster like the three of you, she's a really tired human being. Yeah. Well, it's up to you, Shard, if you reveal yourself to her. I'm kind of like seeing this like moment as kind of like, you know, calm before the storm, before we get back to the mystery. If y'all want to hang out with each other, that sort of thing. This is what this moment is for now. If that's okay with folks.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just getting a little smaller as I remember what happened in Topeka. So, and a little duller in the colors of the butterflies. They drop off anyway and seem kind of dead. So,
in that fight with the headless monster that Cameron fought. Did that thing bleed at all? Did it did ectoplasm come off of it or anything? What was it? How did it?
Wisps of like smoke were exuded out of it. I think when the thing is like I think what Cameron did is like grabbed it by the coat, so there wasn't really any like tearing apart of anything. But the coat shifted, and there was like a bit of a gash in the shirt, and that's where Cameron saw the faces, the ill omens.
Sure. Okay. So I turned to Cameron. You know, Cameron, like as he's sticking the 14th and 15th donuts. You know, whatever. You know, kind of like he's eaten all the donuts. There's one left. And maybe he's like, is anybody gonna? And we all go, no, no. He just like pops it in, you know, like the rest of us would eat like a, you know, whatever, like a donut hole. Like one donut to him is just whatever. Like doesn't even have to. But I turn to him and I say, I was inside, but I saw your dorsal appendage rend the roof of the carriage. You were in a conflict, a physical conflict?
Yeah, that guy touched my tail. You know, I don't like that, so I had to throw him off the coach.
No. And I smile and I say, and I kind of cock my head and I say, yes, I know that you profess to not like having your tail touched. Were you able to, and like, kind of, and there's like a little pause, like maybe I don't believe that that's true all the time, 100% of the time. And then was it, and then kind of in this like very clinical voice, I say, did you experience the bloodlust? Was it easier to contain this time? I know that it is a goal that you have to sublimate it whenever you're engaged in a physical conflict.
I mean, it was a bit different this time. It was hard to not eat the horses, but that guy was just in the way. I hardly can remember it, and you see that while talking about it, I get paler because I remember the picture of him. So it's clear to you that there is way more. I've seen more that I want to.
Yeah, so I'm reaching for the light here, trying to sincerely connect with Cameron. So I'm gonna take my dice here. I'm gonna spend. I took three darkness, because one of the things that I get darkness for is ask someone to open their emotions to me. Mm-hmm. And that was when I asked our host why she had lied about being sick. I was like, come on, tell me what's really going on. So I took some darkness for that. So I've got three. I'm going to spend two of those to roll to reach for the light. That is an 8 plus 2 is a 10.
Amazing.
We both find light in the dark. How do we gain, you both find light in the dark. How do we gain hope? And each of us can then choose one off of the list.
Yeah, I'm curious, like how Cameron feels this, or like feels that like Anther is like reaching out to him.
I mean, one plot point that could come up here is that I think the person I saw was Yana the Serpent, which was an agent working with us a while back. And I just thought I would have had lost her forever. But maybe now I've got the chance to speak with her again. Maybe not like recover her from the dead, but just have closure, because I feel very guilty about it. And I think that is something that Anther would understand way better than I would, because Anther has this power to just collect memories and collect personalities lost, as we have seen with the mushrooms.
Yeah, and I think I gain hope because I think I like that. I have trouble understanding human relationships that are not transactional. But I understand that this. I think I grasp that this is a thing that I can do, that he would consider a kindness, that is not, that is within my capability, and I wonder if my recognizing that it would be I'm starting to wonder if my recognizing that he would perceive it as kind, and realizing that that would be a positive thing for our relationship, is that is that actually caring? The fact that I can intellectually connect those dots, how is that different than actually caring? And perhaps it's not. Perhaps I am faking it until I make it. So that's how I get hope. Yeah. So I think that I've already got one bond with Cameron. So I'm going to go ahead and take an XP for that. That's what I'm going to do.
So Cameron, you get to choose one.
Cameron's got a bunch of options, including not being enraged anymore, if that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, I think clearing a condition would be the most reasonable thing to do here, because that really gave me something to focus on, and now I'm just to no, I just have to think about Jana and how we lost her, and how we failed to protect her while we were on the mission.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice bonding there. That's lovely.
Oh, and I will tell you that actually my tail isn't sensitive at all, but they on the very bottom, that is I'm getting real tickly there.
Just the tip, yeah.
That's adorable. Okay, I want to know what Shard is doing here. If you want to talk to anyone, or want to do something.
I don't want to do anything. I mean, I'm just looking and watching what they are doing. I might want to say to Nicole that I still feel that what happened to Pekka was my fault.
I think there's a moment where she kind of gives a bit of a start, and then there's a look of recognition.
I will change my shape so she will recognize me.
Huh. You really think it's your fault?
What I did there, what I should not have transformed these people, these things into people that then went out of control. That was not a good idea.
Well, Shard, would you have done it if I hadn't told you to do it?
I don't know. Maybe I would have done something worse.
Maybe something worse, something better.
It was always they weren't these things, they weren't perfect, they weren't enough. And I always thought that I might do something about it. And when you said people, make them people, that seemed like the best way to go about it. But
The thing is, hindsight always says there's always a better choice you can make. The problem is you don't get that till afterwards. I can think right now of a million ways where you didn't have to do what you need to do.
Can you reach for the light with an NPC?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You absolutely can. Yeah, when you reach for the lights,
try to do that.
Yeah, you're connecting to someone.
I want to connect to her. I do not want to spend darkness for this because I don't know. I don't have that much darkness right now.
Oh, you're so confident. Ah, Jesus Christ.
Damn! I don't know what this thing loves me.
That's a 9.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So on an 8 to 10, you both find the light in the dark. How do you gain hope? I think as she's saying that, like, there, you always just have to make. I think what she's trying to say is like you, at the heat of it, you just have to make the worst decision. And the worst decision was make it seem like it was yours, but it was clearly mine. Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
I said
I missed what
think
you
I
said.
should own. Yeah. Do you hear me? Am I still laggy?
The video is lagging, but I can hear the audio fine.
Okay.
What did you say?
So what
Sorry.
I said is I think we have a lag.
Yeah.
Is that me or is it you, Leandro?
I think it's me. My internet is not great right now.
Okay. Okay, I'll try again. 1, 2, 3. I think I should own my own decisions, I guess. Be responsible for them.
I think she kind of like gives you like this look and just says, "Is that what you want? Because I can take it if you don't want to. It's what we're meant to do here in the division. Take on all our bad decisions and say we're doing it for something good. You don't have to live with them if you don't want to. I can take it if you want."
Can you? But would I still feel them? My terrible decisions, all of them. I don't even know where it started. My memory is made up of holes, Nicole.
Yeah.
So maybe not adding more holes would be a good idea.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe. I've been stuck here for some time. I think I've lost some perspective.
Did that freeze you?
My video is
I
frozen
have
for
used my
everyone.
power. Soul in the rain. Hey.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, my internet is really bad.
Comes back for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, bad is about the right description.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's actually actively annoying me now at this point. I think it's better now. Yeah. Did you get what I said? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Did you want to shut your video off and see if that helps?
Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me do that. Yeah. Did you get what I said? I think it's a bit better now.
I don't know. No, I don't. I didn't. That's something.
I think yeah, you said that like, do you want to keep adding more holes? I think she just kind of like laughs at that.
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like brushes back a bit of her hair. It's just like, well, gosh, I've been stuck here for some time. I think I've lost a bit of perspective.
Yeah, well, I've never had much of perspective, and all I know is that I liked working with you, even though it went very wrong.
Well, that's a nicer sentiment than any other partners I've had in the past.
I like people who are not afraid of making decisions.
Well, I've always said fear comes later. When you're in there, you just gotta decide.
I think I will take a bond with her. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I take a bond with an NPC?
Oh yeah,
Cool.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Let's
Cool.
put that in
I
bond.
will do that then.
Remember, bonds are spent to like add a plus or minus to your rolls. Not that you've needed to. Not that any of you have needed to.
They are like hearts of woolen bonds in that sense, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I think what we'll do is let's take like a quick 5-minute break. Or 6 minutes. So let's come back at 50 past the hour, and then we'll see where we are. So we'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, we have well, for one thing, I've lost all picture because the internet is being rude, and we've been joined by our fourth player, Brandon. Hi, welcome back.
Hi.
Cool. So your character, Hope. Last we saw them, they were teleporting to like join Anther in the carriage, and I think that's right. That's correct, right?
Yeah, I think what happened is that Hope disappears and she doesn't reappear.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did you disappear to? Because you rolled a success in that move, as I know.
Yes, I did. And so what I'm going to say for purposes is Hope got to someplace she not where she was intending to go, but someplace where she needed to go. And which is that she you're back at the McCarthy's right now?
Yes.
And Hope reappears back. Hope knocks on the door.
Yeah, I think it's Nicole who's gonna answer. Who is like Eva's mom, who is meant to be.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you let? Sorry, can I come in? It's important.
Your Hope, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't want to appear in your living room. I thought that would just scare people.
Well, that's very kind of you. Yeah, you may come in. You're hungry? I think we still have some breakfast left over. Your friend.
I'm starving. They didn't have anything there.
Sorry, the donuts are all gone already.
Crap. Anything. Anything's fine. I haven't eaten for days.
You were gone for a couple hours.
No. Yeah, maybe your time.
You have experienced another episode of temporal dislocation.
I ended up in another version of here. Things were a little involved, and we got trapped. And maybe if you guys fill me in on a couple of high points, I can tell you how it might matter.
I've taken over the carriage. And Cameron threw off the driver. And Anther took on the
Okay, where are you going to take the carriage?
The carriage is still there. I still have it. It's still driving on its route. It has a route that is like a bus, basically. It goes hop in and hop off.
The you've got we've got to figure out a new route. You have to figure out a new route now that you're the driver, because route that they're on goes to an well, it goes to a hell. Not there's more than one. But if the ghosts, I don't know if the ghosts knew that or if they had wind of it.
This sounds like. Hold on.
It sounds like they might.
Oh, my internet's being annoying. Give me a second. I was just gonna like ask if this sounds like grasping keys. You're like
Sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, roll plus darkness.
I have a question, a rules question, basically. Do we know the mystery's complexity?
Oh yeah, you should. It's a 6. It's in the keys tab.
Cool.
It's
okay.
It's on the keys tab. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't see. Sorry.
No worries.
It's right below where it says keys for Dublin Spheres.
I have a 10.
Nice.
Nice. Jeez.
4 and 4.
Okay, all right. See, that's a recurring thing of today's session. Everyone rolls really well, except for one time with Cameron. But other than that, yeah. So basically, so you're saying that like yeah, there is like a hell that goes.
It's one of the divergent timelines. It's the one you guys missed it somehow, which is great. Whatever you did, you changed what was going to happen a lot. But if you let go of it, it's going to go right. It might go right back there.
Did we change it for the better or the worse?
We're not in hell. I've been there. I was there for days before I could figure out the way out.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I had to leave you guys behind.
Yeah, I think like the thing I'll add to,
I mean,
to
I
make
know
that
you're
a key.
here. I know you're here, but you're also not.
If it comforts you, the relativistic difference between your perception of how long you are gone and our perception of how long you are gone means that we hardly missed you at all.
Well, I'm glad of that. Yeah, no, I went forward. Yeah, I shifted.
Are you injured?
I'm a little fucked up, but I'm physically okay. I'm starving. Oh, thank you. Hope starts to eat ravenously. There wasn't anything to eat down there.
That sure sounds like hell.
Okay. Yeah, I just had to unwind. Fortunately, I'm here. You guys are great. And that what you did was brilliant, from what I understand of it. And you just have to, Shara, you need to do something to keep it on track even when you're not here anymore to guide it.
There's part of me,
I don't know
me
what
is
that
still
means.
there.
Is that something you could going
I don't.
forever?
Probably not. No, but I think that carriage has been on its route for a long time. That something changed here.
Yeah, something did change. It's been going round and round in circles for a long time, and then something changed it for the worse. And if we had just followed it and hadn't changed it, things would have gone to hell. And I'm not saying I hate saying a word because it's vanity. But it's what a pretty modest flaw.
Well,
It was just going by itself.
no.
Not of the route. Maybe we should investigate those locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe there is some kind of protective spirit that doesn't like that these locations are coming down. That would make sense in a way. Would.
Yeah.
Anther, you
Yeah.
have the ghosts, don't you? What do they think about these places going down? Can you talk to them?
And I think I just kind of like, press what passes for hands kind of against the side of my heads, and tendrils from my fingers run along and wrap around all those mushrooms with the faces on them. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, I don't think and maybe there's like you see maybe like little like puffs of spores kind of coming out of them. Pheromonically, and you can't hear it, but so yeah, Leander, I want to ask the ghosts if they can tell me about like if they can confirm who the driver is, and maybe something about like where the carriage originates, or like where the terminus of its route is, or something like that. And I feel like this is grasping for keys by talking to the spirits that I've invited to inhabit to share my consciousness with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So I'm
yeah.
gonna go ahead and spend 1 darkness on this.
Okay.
0.
Yeah. I just want to say my internet situation is becoming untenable. We might have to wrap soon because this is driving me up the wall. But yeah, go ahead. What'd you get for your roll?
Cool. Let me see. I got a +1. I rolled the 10 + 1, which would normally put me to 11. But I'm gonna spend one of my 2 bonds with Hope, because of the information that she shared with us. She's kind of pointed us in a direction. Like she's kind of given me the idea about what questions I'd ask and things like this. And so I'm gonna use my bond with her to lower that by 1 to put us into that 8 to 10 range.
Hell yeah. Yes. Use up your resources. Mwahaha. Yeah, I think when you like talk to like, I think you'll talk to like that brittle smiling businesswoman. I think is there like a space in your mushroom spore consciousness where you talk to these ghosts?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We are on the moon.
Yeah, I think.
And like we can see there's like that like sharp dividing line. We're on the dark side of the moon, but on the horizon we can see that sharp dividing line where it's sunny, and it is just like the vast darkness of space, and like stars you can see in a way that you absolutely cannot anywhere on Earth because of the way atmosphere works and stuff like this. And it is just this like vast cosmic emptiness. And they're just standing there like arrayed across the, the dust of the moon. And and I'm just standing there talking with her.
Yeah, she can't help but like try to like float around, just bounce up and down.
Yeah, sure.
And
Yeah,
she's
we
just
can
like,
walk around like we're, on Moon Men or something.
yeah, she's just like, well, you're not wrong. It is much better than that dreary carriage.
It is, and I say, it is the environment with which I am most familiar.
Really?
I hope you, I apologize if you do not find it comforting. But
It's
there is
lovely.
there is a certain freedom.
There really is. But you're not here to tell me about your stories of being here, are you?
Perhaps another time. Right now, I fear whatever force it is that has compelled you to continue on this pointless journey that you are on threatens much more than just your serenity.
I think like her bouncing like loses like some joy. The problem of being dead is that you're dead. It's a full stop. It's a period. I think she says it's a period, for Americans. It's a period, and you're just kind of there. And when you're given an option to not be there, you take it. They were very charming about it. And I think like as she's talking, the space around you kind of like changes a bit. And you can see that like she's like sitting in this like cubicle staring at a computer screen and just looking like she'd rather not be there.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that everything is sort of like grayscale, right? Like that it's made out of like moon dust and stuff like this that's just kind of like coalesced to, create these little scenes that we're playing out here.
Yeah, and yeah, you see like this cubicle, and you can clearly tell like it's not realistic. Yeah, it's grayscale, and like it looks like it's a shoddy movie set. And you see like the businesswoman just kind of like looking like anywhere. And again, you hear the voice, but you don't get what they're saying. But when you turn, because you're not seeing from their perspective, you're in the scene now. You see, there is like this rather tall, unearthly tall individual. They've got like they look like they're dressed to. They're dressed like in a modern fashion. They got like a rather long coat. They've got like a scarf. They look like they wouldn't be out of place in like a BBC Sherlock adaptation.
Do they have a head?
They have a head.
No.
They have a head. They've got like windswept black hair and these like unearthly. They just look like Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm just describing Benedict Cumberbatch. But I think you get like an unearthly sense. They don't look. Not to say that Benedict Cumberbatch doesn't look human, but like here, this
I get
person.
the idea that he can't stand anyone except me.
The main thing I want to put out is like their proportions, they're just a bit like an inch or two off regular humans. Like they're a bit taller than they should be. Their face is a bit longer than it should be. Even like when they like reach out a hand to the businesswoman, their fingers are just like a bit longer than it should be.
The word that's going through my head is distended.
Yeah. But I think you see the businesswoman take this person's hand and they move with grace. That's the thing. Even though they look distended, they move in the space as if like they own it. and they've got these like golden eyes, and you see it. The eyes are golden. They peers out from all the grayscale. And the businesswoman next to you just says, "They were quite charming. It's hard to say no, given where I was. I assume I wasn't the only one." And I think like you get like a chiming from all the other ghosts in your consciousness being like, no, yeah, they met this person. Um, yeah. Um, and like they're trying to remember like the person's name. It's hard. But yeah, they were like say, you can get out of this. They give you the gist of like what this person offered. It's like, you can get out of this hell. You have to just ride this carriage, you just need to be in that carriage, and you don't have to be where you were. You can strike off that period, that full stop, and you can keep going.
So the key is basically the ghosts were offered a ticket out of hell to ride in the carriage.
Yes, by this specific person. You now know who it is.
Okay.
Yeah, or at least not the name, but like the person.
Got it. By I'm gonna call him the distended conductor.
Sorry, go Sabine. Yeah, so I think you'll get that key and you'll fade back to. I will say I missed part of your conversation because my internet was being bad. What the four of you were talking about. So if Nicole has been quiet, it's because she's like, it's vision bullshit. Y'all gonna talk about that. I'm gonna go have a smoke outside, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think what we're gonna do is like we're just kind of like, because we're nearly close to time, we're just kind of like come back and have like an idea of where y'all want to go next. Because you've got like a bunch of clues, you've got like a bunch of ideas, got a pretty good sense, thanks to what Hope said, of what the outcome would be, which is hell, apparently, breaking through in some fashion. Yeah, I think I just kind of like want like what's like what's a last shot of like a demeanor of everyone inside this like rather pokey kitchen, which is only slightly bigger than the kitchen that Brandon has in their background, for sure. I guess I kind of want to know like what direction folks want to go to, or what do their characters want at the moment.
I mean, Cameron would go and try to push for the easy solution to just investigate the buildings, because Cameron is convinced there needs to be a portal, an actual real portal that you could destroy or like just turn off or whatnot. That's how it's been for the last couple 100 years. He doesn't see how that would have changed.
I'm gonna try turn on the video. Oh wait, shit! I forgot. I closed it there. What about Shard or Hope or Anther? How are y'all feeling? What's the general vibe?
I think Shard was waiting for someone to tell them what to do.
Oh, for God's sake! You just had this talk with Nicole.
Yes. Wow.
What did Nicole say?
That she could take the memory of the bad decisions from me. So.
No, says Hope.
No.
No.
That's just
sorry.
Shard.
Hope says no and then slaps her hand over her mouth.
Okay. Shard says nothing and waits for someone to get running in some direction so they can follow and be told what to do, because they don't trust their own judgment, because their own judgment is usually makes stuff more perfect, and that's not.
Landron, to answer the question, I would I'd like it if I could sort of retro my last roll to be using my move Tragedy's Long Shadow.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because that makes more sense actually.
Yeah. The thing is, like, it got you a key. I wouldn't want to get rid of that key. But I think we can still roll the move, like, along with.
Well, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Because I feel.
Okay, I'll do that now, and then we'll come back to Anther. Are you using a darkness token or 2?
I'm going to use 2 darkness. That's what I have left.
And he's going to tell you what will happen before he rolls.
Yes.
What he fears will happen.
I'm going to tell you what I'm afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the well, first off, you can tell me, is sorry, just a second.
No worries.
Having a mental blip. Is Cameron's idea is essentially correct about the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
If that's what you fear will happen, then yeah, it could be.
Is it consistent with what I saw?
You the thing is, like, you do tell me, so, like, if what you say, if that's what you want it to be, that can what it be.
Okay.
If it is a portal that you saw,
That's fine.
that it can.
Yes. Okay. So what I am. So yes, that's what I saw, and my fear is that we may have to go into that. It has to be destroyed from the other side.
Going to hell, that sounds fun. Here's how it's worse. When you saw that portal, and as it opened, and hell kind of as hell kind of like start flooding into the living world, you saw.
Forged.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You saw 2 figures on either side of the portal. One is this distended, inhumanly beautiful person on one side of the portal. As in, like, there's a portal and there's one figure there, another figure there. One of them is like this inhuman figure, and this other figure was you. Or at least someone who looked a lot like you.
And why is this worse?
Because they are opening the portal.
So in other words, I'm actually opening a portal to hell.
Willingly, it looks like.
Willingly, or perhaps unwittingly. Yes.
We'll see.
Portal between this world and hell. Okay. So I guess I should roll. And I got a 9 plus 2 is an 11.
Ooh.
You can spend a bond to lower that by 1 to get you into that 8 to 10 range.
Anther. Anther. Okay, I can't leave you yet. You haven't learned what I need to do.
Very well, then do not leave.
Okay, all right.
You are conscious. You're capable of exercising autonomy. Exercise it.
I just don't want to go back there by myself, alone.
There is no need to. We are with you.
How?
Hope. You do not understand. I do not possess a human soul. Any sort of existential dread that you may possess over whatever sort of afterlife.
This isn't existential dread or afterlife, and I'm not talking about hell like in the Bible or anything like that. It's an awful place. It's another reality dimension that's full of monsters, and not monsters like us.
And I sigh and I say, I was alone for longer than animal life walked on your planet. That is something to fear.
Yeah, I know. I was alone for as long.
Monsters.
I was alone for not that long, I guess, but for centuries.
Well,
I will be alone if we don't stop it.
then we will stop it.
But time, 2 hours, right? 2 hours passed here.
Approximately.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I lied. I don't know how long I was down there. There wasn't any way to tell how long time was passing. No, because there's no sunrise or sunset.
But you escaped.
I escaped, yes.
Alone. Without us with you.
Yes, but I couldn't. It was
And
it was a place. It was in place that was entirely dark, and I was down there, lost in the darkness, until I could find a way out. And I don't want to go back there by myself, but on the other hand, I don't want to take you all into a place like that, unless you tell me that that's okay.
Why would it not be? None of us would wish for you to face that again alone.
It's not about me, really.
Also, I must say that all of us, on one time or another, have found your cryptic nature vexing. And for my own personal edification, it will be refreshing to see your dire predictions proven false, so that we may have evidence in future that not everything is as terrible as you always seem to assert that it is.
Sharon, Cameron, do you feel the same way?
I mean, Anther has always been smarter than me, so
this is true.
Yeah, I just don't want to. You know how she can be. I don't want to bring something up here that could get us into long discussions. You know that I mean, if there's hell, there's a highway to it we could take. We learned that from
There's a
Oh.
song about that.
Yeah. But I
And
mean, are you okay with going there? And like I said,
yeah, sure. It's
yeah, sure.
I mean, it's not the first time. We're doing that.
Hope bursts
we're
out
doing
into giggling and crying at the same time.
Hope. Remember, we're doing this for years and years and years. I personally lost track of how many times we have been to hell and back. And the thing is, the only thing that makes our trips there bad or even worse than expected is us being like half-assed. You know, like we go there and we don't want to wreck up shit, and we go there and we want to be like real careful about the poor souls that are trapped there. No, we have to go there, close the fucking portal, make an end to who's ever ruling down there. Just go there, smash some heads and some portals, and then we come back. Thing is done. We can go back to our donuts.
Okay.
Like it's always the same. I don't see how it's worse this time.
Okay. A
I've
shard.
been in a war. I've been in a war. I remember very little about my past, but that there's the war, and that is worse than any hell I've ever seen or heard about. So
Okay.
the past is that bad. I don't think the future can be that much worse if we're working towards ending it.
Okay.
Oh, not ending it. That was the wrong. That was. My mouth will become flat and not exist any longer in the face because I don't want to babble about anymore.
Hope says, okay. All right. And she'll use the bond. And that pulls her down into the 8 to 10 range, and she knows how to prevent the worst from happening. So it has 2 effects. First, she says there is a portal, and it has to be destroyed from the other side. If we destroy it from this side, we'll just leave a hole. I don't know what that means. I don't want to go down that timeline just yet. But if we destroy it from that side, it'll collapse on that side and not here in this reality that we're trying to keep safe.
So we find a portal, the mouth reappears.
Yeah, no.
It's a little scoot. We find the portal and then we destroy it, and then everything's much as it now.
And then we get out of there. And I know how to do that, I think. And everybody gets 2 bonds.
With hope?
With hope, yes.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh,
Because it's getting out. It's getting out. That's the problem. Getting in is easy. They made it easy.
And I totally, and like, Hope lays all this out, and I totally turn to Nicole and say, and this is your opportunity to make amends to Shard.
I think Nicole has just like been watching like in the she's in the doorway leading out to like the back garden where she's been smoking.
I think Anther says discharge your debt.
She does not owe me a debt, Anther, and I would appreciate it if you would not call out people on my behalf.
I needed a calling out anyway. I think she'll like just like stop, throw down the cigarette and just kind of like stop at it and just say like, I think I know where this portal of yours could be. And I think if that's okay with folks, we'll close it there because we're on time. Everyone's come together. Everyone's feeling the bonds of friendship. Let's go to the end of session moves, questions. They are at the situational moves tab. I'm just gonna ask the question, and then each of you can say whether you did or not or did not. So first question, answer the following. For every yes, mark 1 XP. Did you express your monstrous nature or your humanity? I think everyone did one or the
Oh,
other.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Did you
Got
learn?
got a head full of ghosts.
Did you learn something significant about yourself or your impending doom? Which I think everyone did as well. Either about yourself or your doom, which is very nice. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster? I think you all did as well. This is some textbook reaching out to everyone, including Hope as well. I think.
Oh yeah. Well, no. I mean, Hope had to know that you all would do this because she's new. Remember, Hope is new to this agency. She's been fighting this fight by herself for a long time, over and over and over again.
Oh yeah. Well, I say hell yeah, more like in the general, everyone learning that rather than just that situation. Cool. So the next bit, answer the following. For every no, you may choose to mark doom. No. It used. Sorry to answer a question in the chat. It used to be the case, but it's not mentioned in the PDF anywhere. So I'm just gonna assume Jamie took out that you get XP on a miss. So sadly, that's not the case. So for the following, for every no, you may choose to mark doom. So it's a choice of whether you want to mark doom or not. Did you uncover at least one key of the apocalypse or attempt to open Doom's door? I think everyone wrote.
Yeah. So that's my question. There is that's individually? Did we
Yes.
individually uncover one key and not it's not like a group question? Okay.
Yes, it's individual.
Okay.
And
So-
under what circumstances would we mark doom? Do you think? What is
there's a lot of
fictionally-
there'd be there's a lot of different triggers for that. There's some moves that say, "Oh, mark doom as a consequence,"
I mean, frankly, anytime we roll a miss, Leandro can say, yeah, blah blah blah, and mark doom.
I had to mark a doom for
Yeah.
my butterfly stance, so
Yeah.
Right. No, I understand cases where a move has you mark doom. In terms of getting an apocalypse key, when do you think it's appropriate?
Well, the thing is, if you
When it scares the life out of your character?
probably, let's see. There's the thing is, everyone rolled really well today, so we did not
Okay,
see.
so
the
Hope is going to mark doom because Hope got an appalling vision.
The thing is,
of the future.
the thing is, it says for every no, but you did uncover a key of the
Oh, I
apocalypse,
did.
so that's
Okay.
a yes. So you can't mark doom right now.
Okay. Oh well.
So for every no, I know, it's you're there.
No, it's okay. Well, in that case, okay, yeah, she feels like it's not going to happen, and so that is what keeps her from marking doom.
Hell yeah. Did you completely deny what the darkness demands of you? You didn't give in to any of your
I butterflied up that carriage, so it is
Here's-
more perfect now.
Here's the thing. See, what the darkness demands of me is that I accumulate an army of mindless followers. So I feel like inviting a ghost army into my head may have been a step in that direction. A tentative step, mind you.
Yeah.
So I feel like I am going to mark a doom for having done that.
So
I will
did you
mark
say that?
Doom as well.
Read the text again, Leandro.
Did you completely deny what the darkness demands of you? And you did choose what the darkness demands of you. For Shard's case, cleanse the word of all that is imperfect. You took over that carriage.
Yes.
Yes.
The horses are quite a lot better now after I was through with them. You probably didn't see that, but they really were.
Yeah. And Anther, the darkness, what demands of them is to create an army of mindless puppets, and she took in a carriage full of ghosts into her consciousness.
Sure.
So it's a step there.
Yeah.
And then we
idea.
optionally choose whether to mark it or not. You don't have to do it every time you say no to all of these. So, but that definitely, the ghost army thing seems like definitely inviting the darkness in.
Mario, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I'm a bit torn because we had that one what darkness demanded of me on the fly with which was just eating something I'm not supposed to, and I didn't do that. But on the other hand, I did mourn Yana the serpent later when I had the conversation with Anther.
Ooh, yeah, I think that would count because you did bring her up, or at least her ghost, so to speak, came up. So you can choose to mark Doom if you want to or not.
Yeah, that's yearning for a love that can never be yours. Never. You would need somebody that could somehow like let you talk to a ghost in order to make that happen.
Yeah, we'll see when we get up to that. Cool.
Absolutely.
Nothing messed up about that.
God, no, nothing at all. Jesus Christ, these people. The last question: did you reach for the light with someone? This applies to whoever rolled, not whoever was the recipient.
I just there we could see what.
Yeah, so I reached out, so I'm good.
I reached out as well, so I'm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're nearly there. My internet just needs to hold for another minute or so.
Not in a move.
Yeah, I mean, for Cameron and Brandon, it's no. So you guys can take a doom if you want or not, as you think that may have, failure to do so brought you closer to doom or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, Cameron, are you marking a doom?
So for the light with you and was successful, that still doesn't count, right? Just
yeah. It says reach the light, so whoever instigated, whoever rolled to make that move happen.
Okay.
Okay. So with that done, I'm gonna put this to rest because the internet is annoying me. But thank y'all so much for playing Apocalypse Keys. That was lovely. I think that ran the gamut of what I love about this game. Some creepy, spooky, cool stuff, and then the feels that underpins the creepy, cool, spooky stuff. Even at the last minute last minute appearance from Hope and everyone coming together to be like, yeah, no, we can beat back the darkness. Screw you, Apocalypse. Lovely stuff. I'm gonna stop recording, but as always, to anyone who's watching this, I do want to shout out the lovely folks at the Gauntlet. Great players all around, very inventive and very cool. And if you want to join in, check out the link down below. If you want to check out Apocalypse Keys, there'll be a link down below as well. Everything that Jamie does, check it out down below. I'm gonna stop recording. Goodbye, YouTube. Bye bye.